Howdy everyone, Pocho here with an Age of Magic video, and in today's video we're moving into the next match of the AI Championships. In this match we have Team 9, the Bearded Taxa, going up against Team 28, Cuban Cigar, two veteran players in the game. And as usual, we will start with the banning process. There was a coin flip and Cuban won. He opted to go second, giving Taxa the first move, and the bans came out, with Taxa banning Goblin Anus first, followed by Damio from Cuban Cigar banning two leaders. Goblin Anus, a good ban considering there are 4 goblins on the field. It's smart to get them out of the way, or their leader. Next came Full Metal. We know he is a bit of a damage dealer, even though he is a tank, so a smart ban there as well. And Blood Emperor, again, a lot of arrogant undead on the field. Even though there's only 2 others, there's still the potential for that team to be deadly. Followed up by Lael, who is just a nuisance. But in terms of banning, the only other Dark Elf on the field is Azariel. And I know there is a Drake as well, so potentially a good ban. And then came the Azariel ban. Azariel, always a safe ban. You do not want your opponent to get it, especially if they are picking first. So Cuban probably thought about that and banned Azariel to prevent Taxa. Then came the selection process with Taxa going first, picking Colonel, and then followed by Drake and Cage from Cuban. Drake, an interesting choice considering he doesn't have the Azariel. If the Azariel was still on the field, that would be a good combination, but the Cage, a solid choice, especially with Colonel being able to do a little bit of healing. It's going to prevent any healing with Cage on the field for those 2 turns. Next came the Tricky and Sabretooth. So a little bit of a theme coming from Taxa with the Children of the Forest. However, they are still lacking a lot of damage. On Cuban's side came Sweet Voice and Jag. So a pretty solid damage dealing team at the moment. Drake can do a lot of damage. Sweet Voice, interesting choice. I feel like there were better options on the field. However, he picked it. That's what he went with. He can't change his mind. After that came Angram and Roland from Taxa. Angram, definitely a top tier damage dealer, especially in the tournament. And Roland, an interesting choice, especially with the Drake on the enemy team and the gas cloud that Drake can put on the field with Roland's ability to shield. And this is a maxed Roland. It's not capped at what it is in the game. This is a full geared, full starred Roland. And then the Prook from Cuban. So Cuban running the Prook and the Sweet Voice. Maybe some synergy there. Last came the subs. Taxa went with the Arrogant Axel, a solid choice. He's a glass cannon. Damage is always good in this championship. If you can eliminate enemy heroes, it's always good, especially when you're eliminating those healers in the banning process. Your damage is detrimental to your team. And then the Arrogant Guard from Cuban. I can't see who was left on the field at this point. There was Pig Boy and Riser. So Riser, potentially a good choice. If you're running Jag, you could run Riser. I don't know. I think Jag still does more damage. But overall, went with a tank in case you needed that extra defense. So interesting lineup of heroes, interesting subs, good bans. We'll run into the battle now and see which competitor comes out on top in the first round. Going into the first battle, Cuban's Cage hides and Colonel comes out with the hide as well, saving Tricky from any damage. There is a Roland on the field, but the Drake poison is up, so when barrier comes out, there will be a bit of damage coming out. Roland should do his barrier when his turn comes, I believe. No one ever you. There we go. It's a lot of damage to him and Colonel as Drake whips out some damage on Angram as Angram's boss mark comes out, which synergizes with Roland. Roland, I believe, is either going to do extra damage or put them to sleep. I think it might be putting them to sleep as AoE comes out from Tricky, and a lot of damage coming out from Cuban, who seems to be in a pretty good position. A lot of damage coming out from Angram, evening the field a little bit, but there are a lot of characters in critical HP on Taxa's side of the field as a bit of beating comes out on Roland. Tricky in very, very critical HP. They could take him out. Luckily, he's protected from Colonel. However, Angram is first to fall on the field, making a 4v5 situation. Jag is in critical HP as well now, so Taxa taking a lot of beating. He needs to take out an enemy on Cuban's side. Unfortunately, he loses another character, bringing it down to a 3v5 situation with Roland being in critical HP now. And the barrier comes out with Drake's gas cloud killing Roland. Roland killing himself, giving Taxa an unwinnable disadvantage now. I don't think he can come back from that with a 3v5. The Drake's poison Cloud doing amazing work for Cuban. I don't know if that was picked by strategy or what the go was there, but it's working out really well. Roland's barrier actually protects for a lot of HP, so taking that HP away from the characters is devastating. And the first point of the battle is going to Cuban, and we'll head over to the competitors now, and they can analyze the battle and decide if they want to use their sub or not. Moving into the second match, and Taxa has taken out his Roland and put in Arakan Axar. A good choice, to be honest, because Roland was essentially killing Taxa. A lot of damage coming out from Cuban's team as Tricky is in half HP. A lot of damage comes out on the Colonel, and Arakan Axar dies very quickly, not even able to get any damage out as Colonel now taking a big beating. Tricky coming out with his debuffs. Is it doing much? I don't know. I see a little bit of debuff on the enemy Brute, but Tricky is now quick to fall as the first character from Cuban's team goes into critical HP and comes just out of it as he heals a little bit of HP. Sabretooth coming out with some damage as Colonel now very, very low on HP. If maybe Angram can take out someone, they might be okay, but it's just very, very hard for Taxa to recover from this position. If they can get Angram, Angram needs to do some more damage, just a little bit more. Cage first to fall finally. The damage coming out on the enemy Sabretooth. Unfortunately, if the damage could have kept going out on Sabretooth, Taxa might have stood a chance. Unfortunately, just not doing enough as Cuban takes the second point, giving 2 points to Cuban, eliminating Taxa from the competition. Taxa definitely made the right choice in removing Roland. Roland was doing so much damage to his team. Arakan Axar, great reserve, however, just not enough to get him through to the next round. We'll go over and look at the leaderboard now and see what is happening. Heading over to the bracket, we have Cuban Cigar moving on, Team 28, going up against Mermaid Natty in the quarterfinals when their fight comes around. We do not have many teams left in the qualifiers. We are smashing through it as quickly as we can, which isn't technically fast, but we are getting through it. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. If you do have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. I will answer it to the best of my ability. And wherever you're around the world, until next time, please take care of yourself.